I'm here at Paradise Cantina, and this is one of the many locally owned bars that veteran nightlife expert Jon Taffer and the Paramount Network helped to keep doors open during arguably the hardest year that this industry has ever faced.
There's something special here. And you know what? Vegas is that way. We're tight as a community, aren't we?
Yes, sir.
And you guys emulate it. Did you see there's starting to be people on the strip?
Yeah.
Have you guys noticed it the past week or 10 days? Is there a better time for you to remodel and reopen with new energy than really right now?
Timing you can't purchase, so this is perfect.
There's only one thing left to do, is there?
Yeah.
Ready to see it?
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. 1, 2.
These are the faces of restored hope at long last. But for the local owner of Paradise Cantina, getting to this point came at a heavy cost.
Yeah, it definitely got desperate. I mean, I moved out of my condo. I mean, I stayed in a hotel.
Ronnie Pellegrino essentially became homeless to keep the place up and running for his staff.
I want you to understand, he lost his house. He's borrowing money to survive.
It was absolutely brutal. There's no way of sugarcoating it whatsoever. I've been one of the people that people come to ask for help.
Which is why he did all he could to resist resorting to a TV show for help.
You know, a year ago, bar rescue, come on. You couldn't pay me to ask a complete stranger for help in the most public way you possibly can. It was like swallowing razor blades, to be very honest.
Until eventually, amid the COVID restrictions, he had to face his reality straight, no chaser. He became more than $750,000 in debt, and his life savings depleted.
Yeah, we were desperate. I was desperate.
And when he says SBA loans weren't really making a dent,
a couple months of being closed. That was what it covered.
he made the unconventional choice to call up Jon Taffer's Bar Rescue.
Pretty pig-headed of me not to at least listen.
And thankfully, he even had that option since Paramount decided to conduct a whole bar rescue season in Las Vegas.
But the fact that he did the entire season here, I mean, that's pretty stand-up.
This during a time many other networks took a hiatus. I sat down with Taffer one-on-one to hear more about the production process.
Anybody on set has to be tested that day. So it's been a real challenge to produce the show, but this year it's more important that we produce the show.
You see, Taffer says for him, this season is personal.
Very difficult and emotional, to be honest with you.
And not just because he's from here.
You know, we had one family, they had lost their house 3 days before we got there. And they had 4 young boys sleeping on the floor upstairs above the restaurant. I mean, those are the kind of things we're dealing with this season.
Still, in line with his typical tough love approach,
Sometimes as an owner, you treat them like family, but they're not.
Taffer took no excuses, instead finding solutions. Pellegrino's episode aired in the season premiere on Sunday.
There is something that should greatly concern you about the way your bartending staff is functioning.
They offered training to staff and remodeled the cantina, making it COVID safe with things like air scrubbing equipment. Taffer imparting important lessons money can't buy.
He's a pretty charming guy, believe it or not.
But turns out the nightlife expert learned something too about just how exemplary Las Vegas's hospitality workers really are.
Las Vegas, I have found, and this is not a word I would have used before I lived here, it's a city of respect. We respect those who visit us. We respect those who serve those who visit us. And we really respect each other. And you'll see a lot of that unbelievable Las Vegas respect and character in this season.
And since Paradise Cantina's rescue, which took place a couple months back, Pellegrino can proudly say his days of despair are likely behind him. Sales are up.
I think this is the first month that we did what we did pre-pandemic.
Taffer says bars like the Cantina are in for a big comeback.
I think restaurants are going to come alive, and I think it's going to be a wonderful summer.
Look, I know that we're not curing cancer or anything, but I'll tell you what, one thing people are definitely going to need after this is a drink.
Taffer says the fight is worth it. And for his industry colleagues still struggling, Pellegrino offers this.
Look, just don't give up. You can't give up, no matter what. Like, this is what we do. This is what we're good at. We're going to eventually be allowed to do it to our fullest capacity pretty soon.
The kitchen here offers a full menu 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Paradise Cantina is located on Paradise Road right near UNLV. I'm Maddie White, Fox 5 News, local Las Vegas.